Hi world, it's the 14th of September 2020. It's about midday UK time. Just an announcement first of all. Big thank you to all those wonderful people out there who have complimented me on my new website. Yeah, it is nice. I like it. It's good. It's still quite a few tweaks needed to be done, but that'll be done over the coming few weeks. The beginner's course of astrology, the first module that I announced a couple of days ago, a day or so ago, is now 2/3 subscribed. There are still some spots left. There's about 30 slots left. But first come, first served. I reckon they'll be gone within a few days. So if you want to get involved, look at the courses section on stevejudd.co. That's stevejudd.co, not .com. Now, last night I watched television, which is something I don't do a lot of. But I watched television because last night there was a brilliant programme on the potential for global extinction. It was fronted by a large number of different professors, academics, environmental campaigners, farmers with a great deal of knowledge and experience, a large number of people, all of whom were very, very experienced and very knowledgeable in their work. And their basic conclusion was that in the last 30 years, for the first time ever, we are losing or have lost 25% of all of the plants species on the planet, all of the insect plant species on the planet, and all of the animal species on the planet. 25% of species on this planet are now extinct, and it is escalating and rapidly accelerating. This is a fact. Politicians pontificate. They promise one thing and do another, but that's what politicians do. Profit-driven big business people promote the anti-environment agenda, and they say that global warming and environmental chaos is nowhere near as bad as the academics and the people who know what they're talking about say it is. But they would say that, wouldn't they? Because it means they're not going to make quite so much money. But the economic cost of extinction, well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? During the lockdown, or the first lockdown, everyone was commenting on how the wildflowers were growing on the roadsides, how the air was so clear in the sky with so few planes, how the environment was recovering. And this is still the case now because we've not gone back to the full economy. And yet all the politicians are there banging their hands on the table going, we've got to get back to the office. We've got to get the economy going again. We've got to get back to the factories. Which is all very good for the short-term economy. And I do mean short-term, as in 1 to 2 years. But long-term, what's the use of having a good economy if you haven't got a planet to live on? Because we need this planet and its biodiversity. Used to be able to drive down the road and every day there'd be loads of bugs on the windscreen. Now there's none. Planet doesn't need us. If humanity becomes extinct, the planet will survive and it will probably thrive, and a new species will come up. So it's well known that I'm an active campaigner for environmental and green concerns. That's never going to change. But let's look at the astrology of it. In the short term, relatively speaking, Jupiter and Saturn are going to conjunct each other at the very, very start of Aquarius, around the solstice, around the winter solstice, immediately after the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. And that's going to bring a change in terms of the way we manage our economies, but I can't see it as being a radical change in that short space of time. Instead, I am looking at a really enormous astrological event coming up in a nearish future that is pretty damn big. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I can't find anything like it tracing back over hundreds, if not thousands, plural, of years. And that is, but in 4 years' time, Pluto is moving into Aquarius. In 4 to 5 years' time, Neptune is moving into Aries. In 5 years' time, Uranus is moving into Gemini. The big three in terms of astrological effects, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, are changing signs and moving into masculine signs out of feminine signs. Now, quite what this means at the moment is anybody's guess, but it's pretty clear that there's going to be a lot more proactive instead of reactive. And there's going to be events made to happen instead of reacting to events happening. The fact that at the same time as Neptune moves into Aries, Saturn moves into Aries 5 years from now, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 29 Pisces and then again at 0 Aries this is a game changer. And I am worried because I think that this could be the point of no return. And it could be that from that time the need for profit overrides the environmental well-being of our planet to such a degree that there will be no point in returning. There will be no comeback. And from then on, humanity will be screwed. The environmental degradation is automatically affecting those less well off. They can't afford to buy good food. So depopulation is going to become more and more of an issue, probably through starvation and various other forms of crisis, let alone the climate crisis that is happening. And if you think I'm making it up, just look at the entire west coast of America. Dust Bowl. So what's the single biggest thing we can do? Well, I know I'm banging my own drum here, but we could stop eating meat. Animal farming and the way we abuse the animals is the single biggest crime, I think, on the planet. And the way we cultivate cattle and the space we need for cattle is not doing the planet any favours at all. Fish stocks are dwindling. The planet is heading into crisis. And I don't want to sound despondent because I remain hopeful. But unless we elevate our consciousness and start realising that we need the planet as more than it needs us, and forming a more symbiotic relationship with the planet, and having a more holistic lifestyle, then we as a species are screwed. And I suspect that come 5 years' time, that point of no return will become palpably obvious. Now, this won't happen in my lifetime, but it's going to happen in my daughter's or my granddaughter's lifetime. So we have a moral obligation to our descendants to do something now, while we still can. And of course, there's all of those out there who are going, oh, I'm just going to go back to work and make money and eat my burgers. And this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Sure, your choice. You believe what you like, your world. But you will remember in years to come that you had the chance to change things and you didn't. So get out there, make a noise. Even if it's a quiet noise, just get out there, change your habits, live in a more harmonious relationship with the planet and those around you. Don't be angry, because anger is a dis-ease. And we need to be at ease with ourselves and the planet. Catch you later, world. Bye.